What is up, guys? It's Valtime EX Turk with another Final Fantasy video before I had to go to bed tonight. You know, it's getting to 4 o'clock. I should be going to bed or anyways. I just had to clean up a little bit, and I really just doing an extra video because I had to watch this incense. I can't leave the incense on while certain roommates are asleep because they'll have a panic attack if they find out I lit incense and just left it in the room. So while this incense burns out, I'm gonna go ahead and push another video as much as I can. And you know what? There was a subject I really wanted to talk about, and I never really got to talk about while playing episode Prompto, whether I'm streaming it or whether I talk about segments of episode Prompto that was not, in the original videos I made. But there was something peculiar to me. The notes that you find with Emperor Idolus Outercrab, which actually that actually does make sense because, well, Versteal Bethisia is the chief scientist of Niflheim after all, so the Idolus notes make sense. But Ravus, unless Ravus actually directly worked with Versteal, and maybe they have in the past. Because Versteal says the one-liner that, even before episode Prompto, you now lead the army. You were now the High Commander. And then Ravus goes back to saying a moot point why the fugitives are at large. The reason why I wanted to bring that up in this video is there was a note thanking Versteal for something. Was it Ravus thanking Versteal for working with him? Was it him thanking Versteal for creating that metal arm that made him 10 times stronger than he was in Kingsglaive? Or could it be for something else? Or could it be just for the Niflheim Empire? Or could it be just for the Niflheim, Or could it be for the... Or could it be for just the fact that that he is good for the Niflheim Empire because of his technology? They keep winning wars over and over. There's some reason why Ravus's note is saying the same thing Idolus's note is. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but this is me just, deciphering what that note means. Now, I'm not for sure if I got the thing in there because this is, I'm using 2 different clips for this one. But it's like there's got to be a bigger and larger scale reason. Maybe this might sound crazy, but maybe there's some good in Versteal. Maybe Versteal doesn't, because Idolus suggested to kill Lunafreya. Versteal has said maybe we might do well just to take her alive. And yes, it was to capture Noctis and stuff like that. Maybe there might be some good in Versteal. I know this is going to get dislikes for this, but maybe he's not the awful douchebag, trash sign Hojo motherfucking trash character. Maybe there might be some good in Versteal we don't even know about. Maybe Ravus is thanking Versteal for not only pardoning Lunafreya's life, but also keeping Lunafreya away from Idolus. Because if Idolus would have figured out Versteal was, not telling Idolus everything, Versteal could get killed. Not just lose his job, he could get killed by Idolus for treason. Because remember when Ravus did treason? Remember when Ravus says that Noctis was the king and not him? That's still considered treason to Idolus. And it wasn't just he got relieved of his duties. He was killed off. Or at least Idolus was attempting to kill him for doing that. So if Versteal would have leaked out the secrets that he kept with Ravus, maybe Versteal would have got killed off. So maybe, I know this sounds crazy, but maybe there's some good in Versteal. I mean, there's got to be some for him not doing that. because what Versteal's doing is disobeying a direct order from Idolus. There must be a reason why Ravus, a man who owes nothing to Versteal besides his metal arm and his partnership during the Niflheim Empire, there must be one reason why Ravus is thankful. Maybe it's because he told Idolus off and told him, don't kill Lunafreya, pardon Lunafreya, or maybe it's just that in order for Ravus' secrets to be kept, Ravus had to distract Noctis and them from Versteal's plans. So that mean that Versteal will never tell Idolus where Lunafreya is, or the Hydrian, and that's why Idolus asked, "What of the Hydrian? What of the ring?" Maybe for a paid secret, Ravus has to stay in the Niflheim Empire in order for... And maybe this is the reason why Ravus was also in the Niflheim Empire besides his lust for revenge, because throughout the whole game of Final Fantasy 15, Ravus loses his desire for revenge. He loses that desire. He don't no longer desire to kill Lucius Kyliums like he wanted to before. I mean, he still does, but it's like it's slowed. It's slow in progression, not direct by orders. Even when he had time to do that, the most things he's ever did was go visit his sister, Lady Lunafreya, during the during a day before Noctis arrived to take the Hydrian. Ravus was there, and Arya's like, "Oh, I know what you're doing. You're gonna try and converse with Lunafreya." So besides Arden, Versteal knows Ravus' plans, and I think the reason why Ravus is thankful as well, he's thankful for the metal arm, of course, because it gained much more power, but he also had Versteal keep something secret from the Emperor, which will explain why the Emperor asked, "What of my Hydrian?" Because what Versteal is eventually doing is treason, because he's going against his Emperor. He's going against his he's going against his Emperor when he's doing this, which is technically treason. So that's why I think it's very interesting why Ravus would be thankful to a man he owes nothing to, except maybe working with him in the past, because Ravus had a lot of partners in the Niflheim Empire. Ravus has worked with Aranea, has worked for Versteal, and his new and Ravus' newest partner is Arden, because Idolus wanted Ravus to spy on Arden because he couldn't trust Arden and make sure Arden still had the same goals as the Niflheim Empire. Because yes, Idolus kind of made a mistake by giving Arden the power to do whatever he can do, but I think it's important to understand that Ravus has worked with a lot of people. Like I said, he's worked with Aranea. He's worked with General Glocka in the future part of Kingslave, ironically. But I think he had a plan to kill General Glocka, but Idolus isn't going to allow that to happen. So, but he has also worked with Aranea, and he's also worked with Versteal, because Versteal says, because Versteal has said, "You are now the High Commander." So he remembers Ravus when Ravus was not the High Commander. And maybe he wanted to turn Ravus into what Prompto is, based off the facts that, Ravus ended up being the succession later on. But, maybe that's what he wanted to do with Ravus. But either way, Ravus and Versteal has worked together, before in the past. But this is just me trying to decipher what he meant. Was it the metal arm? Was this his partnership? Or was it he was keeping secrets from Idolus via Versteal, as long as he stayed in the Niflheim Empire? And still worked with him a little bit on the side without Idolus knowing. Of course Arden's gonna know because Arden can be anywhere at any time. And Arden would never tell Idolus because Versteal values his friendship with Arden a lot more than his servitude to Idolus. You know. Because Idolus, let's be honest, he's not understanding. If you're not with Idolus's goals, if you're not doing things for Idolus, then yeah, he's gonna get pretty pissed off and call it treason, considering what happened to Ravus when Ravus just shit talked, Idolus right in front of him in his throne. He don't like that. But nonetheless, may the crystal be with you. If you could decipher what that note means, that thank you note that Ravus has sent to Versteal in episode Prompto, let me know in the comments. These are just random theories to back up what that note actually really meant. Just to put a video out there so I can get these incense down. So may the crystal be with you. Let me know in the comments if you have deciphered the note in episode Prompto. And may the crystal be with you. Indeed.